Hello, I'm back again with another non-book themed video. While I am the book bandit, and that's how I got started, and I mostly sell books, I do like to talk about some other things that are non-book related or other types of items that I sell on Amazon that are not books that have done well for me. So today I'll be talking about a VCR that I sold. This month, May, I have sold over 100 books alone, not even talking about CDs or VHS tapes. So books take up the bulk of my sales, and I continue to source books and send them in. In this month alone, I've sent in over 100 books this month alone, which isn't a ton, but for me, it's not bad, in addition to a lot of CDs. So I'm still sourcing books as much as I can and sending them in and selling them. But my inventory is definitely growing in non-book categories, mainly CDs, second VHS tapes, and soon records or vinyl. So let's talk about a VCR that I sold recently. This one I actually bought last month in April, the very end of April, and I sent it in after I listed it, along with two other VCRs, and this one sold within 2 weeks of hitting the warehouse. This was the Sony VCR. I spoke about it in another video a few weeks back. Feels like I made that video a long time ago, but that's how it is when you're making a daily vlog. But it wasn't too long ago that I made that video, and I was happy to see that this Sony VCR had sold. I actually bought all three of them at Goodwill. This one only cost me $7.99, so $8. And I listed it and sold it for $94.97. And Amazon paid me $75.76. So all three of the VCRs cost around $23. So I've more than paid for those three VCRs with this one sale and profited close to $50. It feels really good, and I'm glad that it sold quickly. And I figured it would because the rank was really low. It was actually ranked 110. And I believe VCRs alone, not just electronics as a whole. The other two that I bought, a Daewoo and a Panasonic, are ranked much higher in electronics overall, 77,000, 42,000 when I listed them. I expect those to take a few months to sell at least, which is okay because they're going to sell for good money. I actually went back and repriced them because some other sellers have come on the listing, and of course some of them have offered lower prices. So I lowered those a little bit, but I'll still make good money at the new lower prices. This was actually the fourth VCR or DVD player that I've sold since I started taking a look at them. I started looking at VCRs last summer and just bought a few, about 5 or so, and I've sold 3 of those original ones. I bought 5 and I sold 3 of them. So I've sent a total of 8 VCRs or DVD players, and I've sold 4 of them, so sold half. 2 of them is sitting for a little while, and the other 2 I just sent in. So I repriced the older ones as well. Hopefully they'll sell soon. But overall, it's going well. I sold one VCR for $129. I sold one for $79.95, and I sold one for $39.95, and then of course this one for $94. So it's been going well in that respect. If I were to focus more on them and go to more Goodwills, which is where I usually find them, or look for them at estate sales or yard sales, which I do look for them, but I don't see them that often, then maybe I would find more and send them in. Definitely Goodwills, that's where I find a lot of them. But I just haven't been focusing on it. When I find them, I send them in. And I'm sure there's a lot more of them I could find. But I think I prefer the VCRs over the DVD players because I had some issues with the DVD players. I haven't had an issue with the VCR player yet. So those work best for me. It doesn't take too much time to deal with them. You basically can test them at the store, especially at a Goodwill. Just plug them in, make sure they turn on. If you can find a VHS tape, which you usually can, you can put it in and see if it plays, fast forward, rewind. And then, of course, when you take it home, it's a bit of a gamble because you don't know if it's going to work, but usually they do. That's why I don't like to mess with the DVD players, though, because they can be a little more fragile. I'm going to stay away from those, and the VCRs seem to be in pretty good demand, believe it or not. And then you get it home and test it out, hook it up to a TV, clean it up. They're usually a little dusty, possibly a little dirty. And then wrap it in bubble wrap. I suggest doing that to protect it. List it, put it in a box. They're a little bigger, so you have to use a little bit of a bigger box. They probably go to a different warehouse than your books or CDs. But, if you can make some nice profit off of them and don't spend too much money on them, that's nice. I'd like to stay in the about $7 to $15 range for them. Don't spend $25 on it unless it's legitimately going for $150. You looked it up, you looked it on Camel, it's selling, good a good rank, there's not much competition. Then maybe you want to spend a little bit more money, but I try to stay a little bit lower, more like around $10 to $15, because you can find them for those prices usually in Goodwills, and typically a lot of the VCRs are priced lower than the DVD players. Well, then some of the DVD players, but a lot of VCRs seem to be, they're perceived as being less valuable in the thrift stores. But yet on Amazon, there's not that many of them. There's a steady demand, so people are willing to pay a bit more. This is just another tool, another way to diversify. For me, I like to diversify the most that I can, and with the products that I like to sell and like to look for, so that when I'm out there, if I don't find books, if I don't find CDs, etc., I can look for other things. So right now, I can look for books, I can look for CDs, I can look for VHS tapes, vinyl, used VCRs, or new, but VCRs, and pretty much anything new in the box. So if there's a toy or whatever it may be, if it's new in the box, it looks new, it's not been opened, the person says it hasn't been opened, then that's best for a lot of these types of products you might find in the retail space. Kind of a unique niche, the VCRs, but it's like the VHS tapes, right? It's a niche, and there's a demand for a variety of reasons. People like to use the VHS format. There's certain things that are only on VHS, so they want to buy a good functioning VCR player. They're willing to spend $80 to $120 or more because they want it to last, or at least they hope it will. And there might be some people that use it in the entertainment field or other type of niches, type of jobs, types of careers. They might get it for some sort of community service space or something maybe, or a kid's place where they're going to be showing VHS tapes. They don't have a VCR. Regardless of whatever the reason is, there's a lot of reasons and there's a steady, not a huge demand, but a steady demand for these. And it doesn't seem to be going anywhere because so many programs are only available on VHS. So I will continue to look for these, not with a tremendous amount of focus, but knowing that it's there. I know a little bit about them. I prefer the VCRs to the DVD player, so I look for those. Unless the DVD player is in the box, or the person says that it's new, only been used once or twice, that kind of thing, then I would probably buy the DVD player as well, because there's certainly a lot of used DVD players out there. We're almost at the end of May, guys, believe it or not. There's a handful of days left in May, and then we're into June. We're into the summer, basically. So before you know it, we're going to be hitting back to school, and we're going to sell a lot of books and a lot of everything, basically, but especially books. Me included, let's go out there and look for books and build up our inventory. As always, remember, keep booking.
Here you go.